Hello, everybody. And I wanted to talk about two movies. I don't know if it's actually cerebral movie chat because these movies are not cerebral, really. But I think it's maybe a film review that I think needs to be said. So that's why I wanted to do the kind of the film review. I didn't watch these. I have watched trailers and clips of them, and I've read the plot and the synopsis and everything, and I think that is speaking about, worth talking about in my film, as the world just keeps going through stuff, right? Like our recent election in Canada, it was messed up for sure in ways that never would have happened before. And so we're looking at this world now where people just do kind of whatever they want. And Canada didn't used to be like that. And Canada is kind of getting a little more like that, which is frightening because we never used to be that way. And people are definitely being that way now. Might be a demographic thing, perhaps, but not just. No, there are other things definitely going on. So I'm trying as an empath and a healer and somebody who's such a good person, trying to weather all of this, right? And so I've had a lot of, as you guys know, personal stuff going on in my life. And I just thought, you try to be a good person, right? You want to be a good person, but there's no benefit to you, right? You need to stand up. You need to not be as polite all the time. You need to say something, and because you're a good person, you don't have to prove it. Like I already am, like I know I am. And because of the brutal abuse I had when I was younger, it makes you think that somehow you deserve things and you don't. So this is kind of a CPTSD in a way movie as well, because like I said, my channel's about a lot of things. So I just wanted to put on the radar for people two movies, two, that have good messages in one way, but are horrific and awful and obviously really egregious, right? Like the way they go about it. But the idea, not unlike the movie reviews that I did with reindeer, the baby reindeer, and the adolescents. They're talking about them. They're like social, commentary movies. And so I thought that that would be something useful to put in my channel in case people are interested. They're called, I believe, Speak No Evil and Funny Games. And they're both really terrifying films. So don't watch them if you don't have if you have any kind of a sensitivity, which is a good thing. It's good you're sensitive. It's not bad. It's wonderful, but people don't always like it. Yeah, and they can go to hell. Seriously, that's where we are. So, but please, they're frightening, they're disturbing, they're like psychological and mess with your head and stuff. And they mean to, like they mean to do that. And one of the biggest things is don't be so polite. My God, we're such a polite country. Don't be so polite. And these aren't Canadian films, but still, it's like we really are. And people take advantage of your politeness. They take advantage of your kindness and your goodness. Don't let them do that. We really need to stop doing that. So like you can be good and still stand up for yourself, and that I think is the big thing. It's not one or the other, right? So that's why I wanted to talk about these movies and everything that's sort of happening in the world today. So the first one, Speak No Evil, I think it's a well-made film in the sense that it's not like poorly made, but it's got a terrible, frightening kind of message right? Basically, don't be so polite. So these people, okay, spoilers ahead. Well, I didn't watch the movies, so not that many spoilers, but I do understand them. And I think it's a cautionary tale for not to let people do stuff. So these people, they're on vacation, they're middle class, they have money, they're polite, that kind of thing. We've all been somewhat well trained to, be polite to people. My family didn't do that. I learned that myself because of who I am, and I'm just that extraordinary. Um, but some people are actually taught to do that, to be polite. And that's not a bad thing if other people are, right? That's the whole idea. Everyone's supposed to do it. If they don't do it, you don't do it. And that's what I'd say now is some advice. You owe them the level of politeness they afford you. As they say, and I use this now as a mantra, let your boundaries be bigger than your empathy. Because people take advantage of your empathy. So anyway, these people, they're on this vacation. They meet this other family with this, I think it's a boy, and he's mute, right? He can't talk, and they don't really understand what's going on. But yeah. So anyway, the people seem very friendly and whatever, and they strike up conversation. And then the family says to the other family, hey, you guys should come visit our bed and breakfast house or our vacation home, whatever. And they agree to. They don't know these people, but they seem nice, they seem friendly, and that's the crisis. Not everybody is you. Because you wouldn't do it doesn't mean other people wouldn't. And that's really what this movie is all about. I mean, I was reading some reviews, and they say that too. It's like, we're too polite. And so anyway, well, not all of us are, but most of us are. So they do. They go, they visit these people, and sketchy shite starts to happen, right? Sketchy stuff starts to happen, but they don't do anything. It starts off slowly, it's not, that's what they say, things evolve, they evolve. They don't start off, they'd start off that way, maybe they would have. Now, they have ample opportunity to leave at this point. They're not being trapped or anything. But they put up with stuff. And then they have a young daughter, who's around the same age as the boy, maybe 8 or 9, whatever. And they kind of start being mean to her a little bit. Not super mean, but, saying things to her, maybe belittling her, whatever. And they're kind of demanding, they want them to put on this, show. They kind of want them to do what they want them to do. Still, they don't leave. They they don't like it, obviously, but they're still trying to figure out, well, what's wrong with these people? Why are they not like that? I have done that. And that's why I'm saying this. And then it gets, of course, scarier and scarier as they start being more and more aggressive with these people. And then, of course, they decide to leave, but by then it's too late. By then, if they can't really leave by then. And so now they're fighting for their lives, or they're trying to, but, it's a day late and a dollar short. And so basically, I am gonna say how the movie ends, because it's important for you to know. They basically, kidnap them. They're already there, but then I believe they take them in a car. Don't quote me. I didn't watch the whole movie. But basically, the whole thing is they find out why the boy can't speak. The boy can't speak because they murdered his parents and cut his tongue out. Literally. I know it seems like a Shakespeare thing, but you can actually do that to somebody. And so they do. So the boy can't say anything. And obviously, he's now by himself with these psychopaths and doesn't know what to do. So he kind of tries to help the little girl, but she doesn't get it, apparently, right? So what ends up happening is, yeah, they are kind of fighting a little bit eventually, but it's not enough. And so what ends up happening is they murder the little boy, steal the little girl, cut her tongue out in front of the parents, apparently, then murder the parents. And the cycle starts again. Right? Now they meet, because that's what they do. That's how they are. And you're like, some people are like that. Oh, I'm enjoying my Gatorade, my Powerade Zero, in case you're like, why is her tongue that way? And some people are like that. And that's something you have to look at. And people won't look at it because why would you? You need to. There are people who would do that. So that's why I'm really doing this video. So good people all know that there are people who will do that. My family would do that. My family did do that. I'm only here because I was useful, right? And it's scary. And it's supposed to be scary. And I'm coming to terms with the fact that I'm going to be 60 and I am dealing with lifelong stuff now because of what they did. So, but I'm still good. I'm going to be good. I'm still going to do that, but I need to be about me now. So that's why I'm putting it out here, that it's not whatever, Cheryl, which was one of the things they used to love to say to me, or put up with it, Cheryl, which was another thing they used to like to say to me. So I want to say this for me and for everybody. You don't have to put up with it. If you're in a bad relationship now, go do something. Do what you can do. Do if you can do it. It's not your fault. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't my fault ever that my family took my life and used it. You know? So moving on, a similar movie, a similar vein, more scary, more distressing, but useful to talk about, is called Funny Games. It's not funny. It's not supposed to be funny. It's like an ironic title, right? So, and basically the same kind of thing happens, right? Where this family, this loving family, they're wealthy, I think, pretty wealthy, and they're going to their vacation house, which is really nice. And it's by the water. It's a gated community. Now, the question is how these evil boys get in the gated community, but obviously somebody maybe lets them, right? So it's just beautiful. It's like a beautiful place. You can imagine just a lovely vacation home setup. Very luxurious, very comfortable. There's a like a river or a lake or something, and then they have other amenities, and it's just a really nice place. There's a dock and all kinds of places. So, and at the beginning, you sort of see them. They're there, they're happy, they're having a vacation. And again, spoilers here, right? And then this very good-looking guy, and that's another thing, just because somebody looks good doesn't mean they are good. And I know we were all kind of taught that the evil people look bad. They don't. This kid looks very, very good, very well-spoken. He's not homeless. He's not, messed up in that way. He doesn't look like he has a mental health problem. He clearly does, but he doesn't look like that. You know what I mean? He's not like people on the street. He looks very, very professional, very well put together. He's got this beautiful tennis white outfit on. And he asks this woman, because the family, the son and the father are at the boat, and she's making lunch for them. It's very beautiful. And he's like, hi, can I have some eggs? She doesn't know him. Now, she saw him with the neighbors because this is a little scam that they're pulling. And instead, she just assumed that, oh, well, they know him. They didn't know him, And then she gives him eggs. She doesn't even know who he is. She lets him in the house. She doesn't know who he is. Don't ever do that, right? But we're all so polite, aren't we? And that's what messes us up sometimes. And then, so he takes the eggs, goes. It is weird why they have eggs there, but that's a whole other story. Because they haven't gone to the store, or maybe they did go to the store. I don't know. Maybe there's a store around. And then he comes back and says he broke the eggs. Now, even if you were going to be polite at that point, you'd be like, I'm sorry, like, yeah, no, thank you. But she doesn't. She actually gives him more eggs. I'm not making this up. Now, he breaks those eggs in front of her. And he starts being kind of weird now, right? He starts being kind of weird now. And then because he's a psychopath, right? Like seriously, a psychopath, likes to hurt people, gets off on it. Some people do. And then starts arguing with her because she's like, I'm not giving you any more eggs. And arguing with her like she should just do that. And then the family comes back in, the father and I think she let them look at the golf clubs that were there too. Why would you do this? This is going to be important later. So, so now he's has the golf club. He's want tested out. This is going to be important later because he murders their dog with the golf club, right? He kills the dog with the golf club. Like, who does that? But apparently he does. And so comes back, then now the husband is there, and yeah, they're a little bit like, and she's like, these people won't leave, and then he's trying to get them to leave because there's another accomplice there now. Again, just young boys and well-spoken. And then he still has the golf club. So when the man is like trying to be all like, way too late now. But he's like, trying to get like all like a little bit manhandling with them. Then they hit him with the golf club and break his leg. So now what are they going to do? Right? And so that ensues the terrible story that happens after. And I will not go into huge detail about that because it's grim. Right? They attack them in their house, they make them do games, which is part of the thing, like they torture them, and then they're thinking it's just the funniest thing, right? I don't know exactly, they make her strip into her underwear and stuff. I mean, they don't do anything else. They're constantly belittling them. They punch them, they hit them, they make them, they tie them up and make them try and jump around. They make them, play sick games about who's going to get killed first and whatever. They think it's just hilarious because they do, right? They think the woman doesn't know her dog's murdered. He makes her go find the dog and finds that the dog's been murdered, which is pretty terrible. They constantly talk to the screen about, isn't this funny? Because the idea is people watch horror movies for fun. Those are some messed up people. And that's the point. Like, why would you watch somebody being tortured for fun? Why is that fun for you? Right? You're messed up if you think that's fun for you. And that's what the movie's about. Why would you watch this? So the man that actually played the father in the movie said he wouldn't watch it because it actually tormented him. Because it would, right? You're doing it. Like, yeah, it's not actually happening, but you're making it look so real as if it was. He said he won't even watch the movie because it's so upsetting. So they keep doing this, and I mean, I won't bore you with too much else, but basically they keep doing it. They attack them. They think it's funny when they're screaming. They play games with the father, with the mother. And they try to get help. The boy was able to escape, but then the people next door are already murdered. So there's nowhere for him to go. And that's kind of part of it. So then they come back. And then one of the games, the boy gets terrified and they shoot him. They kill him. So the parents watch their son being murdered. This is the stuff, right? This is the stuff. And then people, because I've talked to people before, and they all act like, oh, no, I'm not like that. You're exactly like that. Exactly. Right? Oh, I didn't mean it. No, yes, you did. You think it's funny to watch people get tortured. And it's not funny. And that's what the movie is about. People who think the horror movies are just so great. Well, you're a kind of person, aren't you then? Yeah, you are. So that's the point. That's the point of the movie. Let's just say I met too many people that were... My family was like that. So anyway, to sort of wrap up, because I don't want to make it too long, they basically give this woman this terrible kind of choice. Like they'll murder her husband, like with a knife or with the gun. And then she's like, no. And then, it's this whole weird thing. She tries to save him and isn't able to do that. And then so he's more. They stab him or something. So he's murdered now, right? So she's by herself now, and so I just think this is the funniest thing in the world. And they have a boat, so then they take her on the boat, and then tie her up, and then throw her over the boat in the morning, and she drowns obviously because she's tied up, so she can't, And then they go and do it to the next house. Because something else is very important here. The people who are their neighbors come over to say hi to them. And instead of telling the people that these are murderous, crazy psychopath kids, do something, run, go away, phone the police, because of course they wreck their cell phones, right? So they can't phone anybody. They knew what they were doing. They don't say that. Guess what they say? Oh, these people are our friends. So then after that family's murdered at the end of the movie, they go to the third house now. And because they were in the house of the other people, they think they're okay because they think that they're their friends. And that's how the movie ends. And it's really serial killer teenagers who are on a killing spree. And that's the movie. So what I just wanted to say is we need to really be aware about what we're doing and what we're watching and what we let kids watch, because they were kids in this movie, right? Some mother or father let their child be in this movie, right? So it's like, let's talk about it. Let's not let people act like, oh, well, no, because I've had people say that to me. I'm like, no, you watch something like that. You watch something like that. That's on you. That's what it's about. And so in a way, as horrible as the movie was, it makes that point, right? About why would you do that? So just wanted to say that, wanted to put it out there. I hope everybody, does have an okay weekend. It's Saturday here. Bear's taking the day off because this is way too gruesome for Bear. But I hope that you got something out of it, and I will see you guys. Bye, everybody.